Welcome to this Windows channel, and this is part 4 of our quick review of the Spring Creators Update coming in the spring, with April the 10th, 2018, which is the newest version of Windows. Settings getting a revamp, so you got new categories. You've got categories that have been moved around, as you see here. Some of them are and have all sorts of new settings. Well, most of them have new settings or reorganized settings or new names for settings. There's, of course, fluent design with the acrylic blur effect on each of the different categories with that you choose. Of course, there's the background lighting effect when you move your mouse pointer across buttons on your screen. So, of course, every type of setting, and we're going to look at settings more directly, honestly, in specific videos. I'm going really fast here because it's just to show you that there are huge improvements and changes. Each setting also has new categories, so each of the different settings will give you different things, including some with name changes like Focus Assist, which was the famous quiet hours. More settings in every category and everywhere. So there's a lot of things happening in here, and there will be a lot to talk about in the specifics of the videos. Of course, so there's system devices. Devices has many new options, including the audio department is now in devices. So it's moved from what was control panel into the devices tab here. So very, very interesting to see that they're changing things. Some of the controls from the control panel now are part of the settings panel as they're slowly moving towards that. Of course, the phone setting, which has changed a little bit, makes it easier to add your phone, link your phone. And you can see here they're helping you and making it easier actually to add your iPhone or your Android phone to your computer if you wish to know things. And it works really well because it will display, your phone, the phone number of your missed call or text messages. It will give you status of, oh, your battery is dead, or 20% or whatever. So there's a lot of things. And if you also have the Edge browser on your phone, syncing capabilities and continue on your device also available. Network and internet also has had some revamps, some reorganization where things are. Like I said, we will be looking at the specific details of all of that. Personalization also has new settings, better settings, easier settings, like with the Teams settings, for example, where you apply a theme. It's better, it works easily, and almost all the settings have been kind of, tweaked. A lot of the settings now have the on-off buttons, as you see here, instead of other types of switches. A new category for fonts now. Windows 10 will have fonts integrated into the settings instead of having them, within the control panel like before. So once again, other things that are moving here. Apps have new settings also. There's new features in here, and some of them including the ability to now fix an app by resetting it directly here. The ability to do a lot of things to make these apps work if there's any issues. So new subcategories and everything, easier to understand depending on what you do. So lots of cool little things that are available now with the advanced options and so on. Which you can reset an app, you can uninstall it, you can terminate an app that's frozen. These are all new features that did not exist before. Video playback has new, better options, including quality of playback, HDR capabilities. If you have a high dynamic range display or 4K display, you'll have all sorts of things here. Accounts has been also reorganized a little bit more, with a new way of actually having accounts and the way that you actually interact with your account and manage your accounts. You've got time and language. Before, when you actually had your time and language packs, they would actually be something that you would have to find yourself. So, for example, I'm in a region where the language packs usually are French and English because we speak both languages here. Well, before you had to, find your language packs and everything. Now, when you select a region, the language packs will actually be proposed to you. They're going to tell you, well, usually people in your region are of this and this language, or this or that language. They're going to propose them to you for you to, of course, download the packs, install the packs, and have them working. It's also super important for the Cortana side of things. So lots of things, major improvements on the gaming side with the game bar, all sorts of things that appear. The game bar is the key point here in the gaming of what's happening on your PC. Of course, game DVR, broadcasting with Mixer, everything has been kind of rethinked and reworked a little bit. The game bar is much more beautiful now with the acrylic aspect and everything of the Fluent design. Xbox networking has been improved with much more information, including latency and packet loss information, everything that is linked to, of course, multiplayer gaming online. So lots happening here for the gaming aspect. Ease of access, lots of changes for kind of trying to make things easier for everybody in the ease of access, including the narrator has been tweaked to actually work better. The magnifier also. Lots of things have been changed, including the color palette. Before you had to, kind of choose colors, but now the color palette has a possibility to be chosen off a circle or a grid instead of just, trying to find in a little grid of squares what's happening. Cortana has its own settings now, of course, with all the information about Talk to Cortana, the permissions and history for Cortana stuff, Cortana across my devices, and of course more details here. So I think it's nice. I know a lot of people would like to have the possibility to turn off Cortana, which is not given in this setting. So if you were hoping for a on-off switch for Cortana, fortunately it's not there. It still has to be done through registry, which is kind of interesting. Lots and lots of things that change in the privacy tab, including privacy options for the file system, the video, picture, documents, folders. A lot of little changes here, and we're going to go through again all of these because every time there's a new version of Windows 10, we need to look at the privacy settings. They always change. But you might think, well, okay, Microsoft wants to make them, more difficult to go through and so on. It's actually the other way around. Yes, there are probably too many privacy settings. I will totally agree with you guys on that. But they are easier to understand, and even when you reinstall from scratch, by the way, you now have a new privacy panel that tries to explain as clearly as possible what these settings mean, which is very, very interesting. And like I said, we'll look at these in detail in future videos coming in the next few weeks. Update in security has changed, including the fact that now updates have a new way of actually showing up. So for example, if you have 3 updates, well, you'll have here in your updates the status of each update. Before you would see 3 updates, but you didn't know what it was doing, which one was installing, which one was not, which one was pending. Now you have all the details. Each of the different updates have their status written there. So it will tell you, pending, waiting for restart, downloading, whatever. The status is showing up, which is very nice. Of course, revamped Windows security. We're going to have that in another part. Lots of changes with the security aspect of Windows and pretty much everything on your computer. Of course, the ability to go into the Windows Insider program, activation, find your phone, troubleshooting, backup, and restore of all sorts of details. So easier way to find your settings when you search for them in the search box. So if you're looking for something for the display, you can just type, and it's going to tell you, oh, just change display settings. That's what I wanted to do. So you can actually search for the main setting that you're looking for. Also, what's interesting is that you have, of course, back buttons that will bring you back to where you were before. So this is nice because sometimes you get out of a setting and you want to go back, but you're like, oh, where was I? Well, now as there was a little arrow on the left side, so I clicked home, and you see here there's a little arrow. It can bring me back to that previous setting that I was actually tweaking or looking at. Of course, revamp to menus to go back home in the general scheme of things in the settings. Like I said, icons for every single detail. In the Fall Creators update, a lot of the settings didn't have their own little icons. They took time to, how important it is, obviously limited, but each little setting has its icon, so if you remember how to do this. One of the very interesting thing about the update and security stuff also, in the account settings, you will now be able to actually recover a account from the lock screen. So if you are locked out of your computer and your password doesn't work, recovery options will work from the lock screen. So that means you will have the option. The only thing it requires that you're connected to the internet. But apart from that, there will on the lock screen be all of the information. If you're on the Pro and Enterprise version, there are some settings that are added here, of course, because of the Windows Defender application guard stuff. And there's a lot about that and a lot that we'll be looking at in these different settings. HEIF file format now supported also. So these are things that are kind of very, very interesting. Also, new information coming from the panel from different things. So if you are on batteries or not, you have different ways now of seeing the different options. The battery level, volume control has been tweaked a little bit. All sorts of little things like that have changed that kind of make it easier probably to locate and work with your basic information here and your basic settings. So that's pretty much a quick look at what changed in settings, and like I said, we will go in details in every of these little settings, and you'll have tons of videos coming up if you want to learn more about your Windows 10 Spring Creators Update. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.